Dear visitors, welcome back to Sherlock Holmes Hall for this today's third and final presentation. Today with us we have a team, not only Mr. Saša, but Mr. Peter will join as well to this presentation of a company named entitled Avigilon, basically Motorola Solutions standing behind the whole project. The name and title of the presentation is Avigilon's Artificial Intelligence Powered Security Solutions in response to the craziest year in the century. The speech will mainly focus on the latest features introduced in Avigilon Control Center and the most recent development achieved in terms of Avigilon's NVR portfolio. Regarding its literature, it will be addressed to the salesperson whose drive is to offer the most advanced and reliable security solutions to his or her clients. Dear colleagues, welcome to the Security Summit. The stage is yours. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day, everybody. So, yes, I think the concept drives the product, and this is what I would like to focus on today. However, obviously, we need to understand the features, the products, the devices behind the concept. This is what we are going to configure on the field. This is what we sell. But I think the concept is something what we need to understand first, and this is what we sell. This is what our customers value the most. Okay, I think everybody is familiar with this concept. I mean, what we can see on the screen right now, it's quite a challenge if you agree with me. I mean, and this kind of challenge is becoming higher and higher. Okay, we are increasing the number of cameras, and we are increasing the overall resolution of the cameras to be able to cover wider and larger areas, to have situational awareness, and to be able to identify what exactly is happening within the field of view. And such amount of information, if you agree with me, is something becoming impossible to process by any human being. If you ask me, I could watch this monitor wall for probably 20 minutes, and after that, there's no way I will catch any important event on this monitor wall. So the idea is we need some kind of help. We need something or somebody, I mean, in this case, remain at the thing, that takes that burden off from our shoulders, that helps us processing this huge amount of data. Okay, so first, to overcome this challenge, we introduced this alarm interface in ACC. So we are talking about the VMS side of the system architecture. And this supposed to be, I mean, this was a good solution for years. This was a dedicated interface where the operators received the alarms and immediately have been informed on what's happening in a specific area of the facility. Okay, they needed, I mean, you know, the user needed to pre-configure alarms or let's say filters, something like crossing a virtual line or entering into a zone, or exiting a zone, leaving an area. We have quite a few filters we can apply on the field. And once the rule, or, you know, once something happened that we pre-programmed, the software automatically triggered this alarm and, you know, gathered the operator's attention so they could react immediately. Okay. But as I said, with the increasing number of cameras and with the increasing number of their resolutions, this approach became not really effective. Okay, after a certain point, this approach became outdated, let's say. This is why we introduced the focus of attention interface. And if you ask me, this is the main concept our solution is based on. And this kind of approach helps our customers to be able to detect, verify, events and then act accordingly. Okay. If you see those hexagons in the web GUI, I mean in the user interface, each hexagon represents a camera. Okay, and the hexagon color is telling us exactly what is happening within the field of view of that camera that hexagon represents. In this specific case, we see a lot of gray hexagons, which means there's no motion. Okay, so if I look at this figure, I can immediately see that, okay, there are a lot of areas within the facility where there's nothing happening. And if you ask me, that is a lot of information. I mean, you know, nothing happening somewhere is something to be good to be aware of, okay? But more importantly, if something relevant happens, that is highlighted with a more eye-catching color, such as red, okay? Like a red dot with even more reddish frame around it indicates that something really important is happening within the field of view, and it immediately catches the operator's attention. And this is what the focus of attention interface is about, and this is basically our main concept, that each and every hexagon behaves as a I like to compare these with robots, okay, like artificial intelligence based robots, which are the cameras actually, or yeah, mostly the cameras on the edge, or devices, let's say, on the edge. These devices are filtering a lot of information, classifying objects for us. I mean, Saša will talk about it later, and they provide us the filtered information, and this is what we see in the screen. Okay, this is just another representation. I mean, if we have multiple monitors in front of us, it provides us even a more convenient overview on what's happening within the site. Okay, but I've seen this interface in real life projects where the number of cameras exceeded the number of 300. And if you imagine, you know, looking at this one simple image and seeing 300 of these hexagons, again, immediately you have an overview about what is happening, you know, how busy the scene is, how many important actions are happening. And, you know, as I said, it is also an information if nothing is happening. So if I look at this figure, in 1 second, I have a very good, very reliable overview on what is happening. And I can focus on really on those which are matter the most to me. Let's dig a bit deeper in terms of this, okay? So I said different colors represent different kind of events. So we can differentiate motion detection, simple pixel-based, unusual motion detection or unusual activity detection, which is displayed with this, I don't know, light bluish color. And it refers to anything unusual, really, unusual size, unusual location, unusual speed. Something is running in a shopping mall instead of walking, that's unusual. Something is going to another direction, which is unusual, etc., etc. Immediately the system provides feedback about these events, okay, on the focus of attention interface. Video analytics rules, such as somebody enters into an area, somebody crosses a line, somebody exits or leaves an area also. These are the predefinable filters what we can set within ACC, and these events are represented by this color, this light bluish color in the interface. And also alarms, okay, alarms are indicated with red, and I think these are the highest level of events what we need to immediately react on. This is all adjustable, what we consider as an alarm. And then with the further development of ACC, we introduced such features as face matching or face recognition. So we have a whole database behind this. We can roll in our face profiles into ACC, and if there is a match with the database, it can be shown in the focus of attention interface immediately. And as you see on the linked image, there's a reference image, and there's the live image from the camera, okay, to show the operator, what the system found. Okay, so face matching by default, when there's no alarm linked to it, is shown with a yellow color and with a darker yellow frame around it. So again, it's very eye-catching immediately if somebody enters who I want to be aware of. Even I have hundreds of cameras, it's very easy, very simple to see where this person is, where this person have been detected within the facility. Okay, so obviously there is a very sophisticated technology behind this, how I organize the groups. I can create blacklists, whitelists, any unlimited amount of reference lists, and I can decide which profiles trigger alarm, which profiles just trigger an event, and I can program the system how to warn me and how to act if there's a match with the database. Okay, a good number to remember is that 5,000 face profiles can be uploaded into an ACC site, which is something we haven't reached yet. I'm looking forward to it. Also, we introduced the no mask detection. Okay, so this is again something that the focus of attention interface can notify us about. If somebody is not wearing a mask, immediately it can pop up, and also I can link an alarm to it. So again, there is a very short time needed until I get notification about such an event. Okay, in terms of the technology, obviously it requires, in terms of face recognition or no mask detection, obviously it requires devices on the edge. Today, as I don't really have the time to talk about these, but it requires our NVRs, our cameras, our software, our licenses. There's a whole bunch of technology devices behind this technology, but at the end of the day, again, the concept is very similar. Provide alert the operator, provide feedback immediately. Okay, something that is linked to this focus of attention interface as well is the license plate recognition function. This is something we have for a long time in our portfolio, but we linked the license plate recognition to the focus of attention interface. The concept behind this is pretty much the same as it is with the face matching or face recognition. So there are unlimited amount of groups where we can organize the license plates, and if there is a match, we can decide the software what to do. Okay, this is all programmable in the ACC. So overall, this is the concept what we develop further, and this took over the alarms concept. So as you see, we sort of migrated the alarms interface into the face of attention interface, and we keep improving it. We're trying to make it even more convenient for the operators to watch it. I mean, we are trying to filter out duplicating events, for example. We are making sure that the alarms are always received, the operators and even their management or even top management is notified if there is an alarm. We need to force our operators, for instance, to acknowledge an alarm and add some kind of description. And we can escalate alarms, for example, if the operator is not reacting in time. After a certain amount of time, we can further escalate an alarm to make sure that it is being taken care of. Okay, so again, long story short, this kind of approach is what we are providing to our customers to make sure that they detect in time, they verify in time, and they can act in time, hopefully before something bad happens. You know, whatever the outcome is, something explodes, something gets stolen, I don't know, somebody gets hurt. Okay, this is the whole concept of this technology, is to make sure that we detect and verify and act in time. Okay, focus of attention. So obviously we can decide what we are going to focus on. Okay, all the features what I've mentioned, face, LPR, no mask, alarms, unusual activity, and so on and so on. These events can be filtered. You know, these are user customizable, which events we would like to focus on the focus of attention interface, and which events we would like to just ignore, which kind of events we don't really care about. And also we can select from which devices, specifically usually from which cameras we want to receive these alarms, and from which we do not really. Okay. We need to think about privacy when we deploy these kind of systems as well, and this is why we introduced a few features which are taking care of this. I mean, it could be the company's policy that they want to retain generally video from pictures taken within the facility for 30 days, but specifically our policy, or the company policy, is dictating that we need to get rid of private data earlier, let's say in a 1-day period. I mean after 24 hours, or after, I don't know, 48 hours, and so on. And this is something what we can set in ACC now. So how long I want the software or the database to keep a data which is linked to a personality or a person. This is individually adjustable from the general storage time or retention time. Okay. The same applies to face recognition. I mean, you know, there is an expiry date we can set in terms of each and every face profile, just to make sure that we do not breach into somebody's privacy, or, you know, we handle this kind of data in a controlled way. Okay. Now, in terms of integration, I am sure everybody is aware of this technology, or this protocol ONVIF, and just, you know, in a nutshell, we make sure, our developers make sure that we keep up with the standard. You know, we deliver the latest functionalities what the ONVIF organization releases. So, and this applies to the latest technologies that are getting implemented into the profile, like H.265 support and so on. It's just you know, ACC and our technology is always up to date with these standards. Saša will probably talk about this more, but, you know, with the development of our cameras, of our analytics, mainly, we introduced subclasses. Okay, we are not just able to differentiate people and vehicle like it used to be. Now, in terms of vehicles, we can differentiate a lot of subcategories, such as bikes, cars, motorcycles, buses, and trucks. Okay, and the ACC has been prepared to be able to handle these subcategories, and we can initiate searches based on these subcategories from now on. Okay. Also, we keep developing our appearance search functionality based on this new feature. Obviously, we are able to define what kind of objects we are looking for. Okay, so we introduced in terms of people, you know, the gender, you know, what gender we are looking for. For example, if we initiate a search, I would like to find somebody in the past 3 hours, or it could be even 24 hours, you know. we can define the searching criteria such as gender, hair color, color of the clothes, and also, in terms of vehicles, the subtypes or the vehicle type and its color. So this kind of feature immensely improves how accurately we can find some objects in the past and how quickly. I mean, this kind of technology saves a hell of a lot of time for end users, a lot of resources in terms of investigations or looking for a specific object. Okay, you just have to know that we are continuously increasing the accuracy of our engines, let's say. So we introduced a lot of new features in terms of license plate recognition, new plates, and also our license plate recognition works a bit more reliably with this new release in challenging environments where the fall-in angle between the license plate and the camera is slightly wider than the ideal. Okay, so there's a bigger tolerance in terms of license plate recognition in the latest ACC releases. We must talk about cybersecurity for a few minutes, and this is one of the key points when we discuss about the solution. I mean, we need to make sure that our security, industry product is secure enough. So we introduced a lot of functions in terms of that. First thing first, from 2020, we are changing our policy in terms of default username and password. So from now on, for each and every, it can be a bulk addition, but the main thing is that the user must change the default username and password of their cameras. I mean, there's no factory default, and by that way, accidentally leaving the default username and password for the camera is not possible. So this ensures that somebody who's aware of the default username, factory default username and password cannot breach into our system, cannot breach our let's say defense. Okay. Also, we introduced a few user-related functions, such as being able to view recorded images or being able to view high-resolution images. This is more for privacy, but it has some security-related features or benefits as well. Okay, again, in terms of privacy, when somebody is exporting a footage that has been queried by appearance search technology, we can automatically blur the surroundings. So make sure that the surroundings privacy remains intact, and we can only focus on the target subject. Okay, two-factor authentication. I think it's pretty straightforward for everybody. We introduced this in the ACC, so it requires a more secure. I mean, it prompts a more secure login for those users who has access to the platform. Okay, also dual authentication. This is very useful if we define different user groups with different rights, and we don't necessarily want a lower level user to have access to recordings or higher resolution images. So we could request a higher level user to log in if there is a need for example, exporting a video from the software, and this is all audited. Okay, so the system keeps track of the logs on what is happening in such a situation, so that way we can ensure again even security and privacy at the same time with this feature. Okay, we introduced the password strength indicator, which prompts our users to provide higher security passwords as their username and password, for example. So 1, 2, 3, 4 now is not really an option for people to use as a password. I mean, we encourage our customers to use much more complicated passwords, which are almost impossible to break. Okay, yeah, so I already mentioned this, that everything that a user does during its shift in the software in ACC is becoming audited. Okay, so we keep logging on each and every event what they do within ACC, and this can be queried, filtered, and exported to as proof if it's needed. Okay, and finally the FIPS mode. Very brief. I don't know if you're familiar with this standard. This is, I could say, the highest security standard available in the globe right now, and we are compliant with it. This ensures that there is an encryption between all the main components of the system, like servers, cameras, and clients. So now, from now on, there's an option for an organization to encrypt data between all the main components of their system. And if this is applied, I cannot say it's impossible to hack the system, but we really give a hard time for those who will try it. Okay, with this feature introduced. But in general, I encourage everybody to to use just a very complicated password. Okay, in terms of our NVR portfolio, we introduced a couple of new units as well. This is the current model or current portfolio, what we have. A lot of familiar names, I am sure. There are some Windows-based units, and there are some Avigilon hardened OS-based units in our portfolio. Just a few words about these. So in terms of the edge solution recorders, there are a couple of devices which are end of life, and we introduced a new portfolio, and this comes licenseless. I mean, we have the option to apply licenses the way we want to, and this way these can be customized, better meet with the user demands, okay, or user desires. In terms of onboard, I would say usually this is used in environments where there is no moving part or allowed or recommended, or not moving parts will fail in a quite short amount of time. So this rugged NVR has been designed for this kind of environment specifically, and there's no moving parts inside. So this is really for those environments where we need a ruggedized fashion unit, and such as moving vehicles or, I don't know, industrial environments, for example. Also, we introduced the NVR4X series, which is, if you ask me, it's a refreshment of our NVR4 series recorders. It's basically providing more security, more reliability, and it's basically keeping up with the technological developments in parallel with our industry. I'm talking about IT and computing technologies. The main thing in terms of these is that These units are in our system architecture in a way that they are specifically able to provide those features what we offer to our customers to control their environment and make sure, you know, that they keep it safe. Okay, so these features are license plate recognition, facial recognition, appearance search, and all those functions like unusual activity detection, different kind of classified object detections, you know, detecting subcategory. All the features I was talking about in the beginning of my presentations are provided by these units as well. So these units play a major role to deliver these functions to the user, and yeah, our product development is working hard to put these units together in a form that where these units can work without any failure, without, you know, stopping, without you know, making any inconvenient situations for the customer. So it's very reliable, very well tested units. And if something I would like you to take home with you in terms of this session, this would be it. I mean, these numbers here are unmatched. I mean, very unique, very specific, industry leading numbers, if you ask me. So this is the performance of the new NVR4, a premium and standard NVR. So by using these units, it is possible to use appearance search on 200 cameras or 150 cameras, and on 50 cameras face recognition. Okay, so this is a very impressive number, and as you see, this is something that unique in the industry. Okay, and just the last unit I would like to introduce is the AI NVR, which is a completely new product. I would say this is a wonderful unit in order to bring those customers on board who started with some cameras or some technologies which do not have implemented artificial intelligence inside, okay, such as object classification, object categorization, face recognition, or, you know, appearance search. So these units can run video analytics on those cameras, on those devices, which by default do not have this kind of capability on board. Okay, so these NVRs can add our analytics to the equation and deliver those functions in ACC, what I introduced. And also they come with a hardened operating system, increasing the security to the highest level. Okay, we are at the half of the hour, so that was all I wanted to say, and I would like to pass the word on to my colleague Saša.
Thank you, Peter. As Peter mentioned, the topic of our presentation was Avigilon's AI-powered security solution in response to the craziest year in the century. And he focused on our software solution and our NVRs, or recording solutions. I will be based on our new releases of camera portfolio and also of Avigilon Cloud Services, and what you get if you have everything from Avigilon not including cameras, because we are ONWIF compliable, so we can integrate it third-party devices, but using our cameras with our NVRs or appliances connected to cloud, we have a huge amount of opportunities which we get from Avigilon free of charge. So I would hope you all see my screen. I would like to say a few words about our camera portfolio. We have a wide range of cameras, which include from bullet box, dome cameras, PTZ, various kinds of PTZ, long range IR, to our newest release, which I will talk about in a few minutes. Fisheye cameras, multi-sensor cameras, cameras with integrated SSD hard drives for, like, we call it an edge solution recording cameras, to video intercoms. In the first row, you can see all of our cameras which are in our portfolio. And in the second row, I highlighted all the new releases all our releases from within the last year, which includes our mini dome camera, our new H4 thermal VGA camera, explosion protected cameras, body worn cameras, our new H5 Pro series, which now goes up to 61 megapixels in one camera with one sensor. And our newest release, the H5 PTZ, and the 5th generation of the corner camera. So let's start. Our Avigilon's H5M camera provides a cost-effective solution for, how would I say, low-budget video security applications that don't require too much analytics, by meaning too much if the end user or the customer is satisfied with pixel motion. And we added some artificial intelligence to it, which is called the UMD, or unusual motion technology, to it. The camera is for outdoor and indoor appliances. It has built in an IR illuminator, which goes up to 15 meters. Also, the camera has H.264 and H.265 licensed compressions options with our patented smart codec functionality. What is, I'd say, a key point for this camera is that no tools are needed for the installation. Like all of our camera portfolios, this camera is ONWIF compliant and comes with a 5-year warranty. This is our new release of our thermal camera with integrated video analytics for classified object detection, which now has almost double the resolution, providing a much better image and much better detection rates. It can go up to 310 meters with the detection of classified objects. It comes with IP67 and IK10 rated enclosure. Of course, it is ONWIF compliant and also with a 5-year warranty. Here is our newest release, which we didn't have in our portfolio. And these cameras are meant to be used in hazardous location, where we have the potential of some gases or dust to be in a hazardous area where explosion can be expected. It doesn't mean that this camera is explosion proof. It's only meant that it can be mounted in locations where explosion can happen, and by its design and everything else, it can be mounted in such environments. It comes with our newest release of video analytics, the fifth generation. We call it the next generation of video analytics because our previous version was pattern-based. This one is based on convolutional neural networks, which is currently the highest rated video analytic algorithm currently on the market, which can detect persons and subtypes of vehicles, which include cars, trucks, bicycles, motorcycles, and buses. For the EMEA region, the camera is certified with the ATEX and ECAX certification. Sorry. It has a high security level grade of protection for gas group and dust groups of atmosphere where explosions can happen. Also, this camera is IP69, AK10 impact proof, and corrosion proof with the certificate of NEMA 4X and 6P. Also, these cameras are ORMIF compliant and comes with a standard warranty, which we introduced with our fifth generation with a 5-year warranty. Also, a new release in our camera portfolio is are the body-worn cameras, which currently are in high demand, especially for workers or people who are frontliners, facing with various potential abuses in public. The camera has up to 3 hours of recording. It has integrated Wi-Fi streaming capabilities. There can be up to 100 different Wi-Fi networks, which can be pre-programmed on the camera. So when somebody is walking in a large space where one Wi-Fi router isn't enough, the camera switches between these routers automatically. This is our newest release. We announced this camera 15 days ago. This is our flagship camera, which goes to a resolution of 10K, which is 61 megapixels into one image sensor. It has both H.264 and H.65 smart compression rates with our patented smart codec, which reduces the bandwidth amount used by the camera significantly, which is very, in my opinion, it's very, very good that the camera has such option because of the high resolution it has. Also, with the fifth generation of the Pro camera, We also introduced WDR, or wide dynamic range, which our previous model didn't have. Also, the camera supports smart analytics, which is facial recognition, unusual activity detection, appearance search, and COVID-19 response, which we announced a few months ago within this situation that we are facing every day now. As all of our other cameras, this camera is also OMIP compliant and comes with a 5-year warranty. Also, a new release is the H5 pan-tilt zoom camera, which now goes up to 8 megapixel, which is very high, taking into care that our last camera was 2 megapixel, the max resolution in PTZ. Only a few producers came up to this resolution within a PTZ camera. It also comes with H.264 and H.265 licensed compressions options, also having the ability to use motion JPEG. Frame rates for the 8 megapixel go up to 30 frames, and for the 2 and 4 megapixel options go up to 60 frames. This camera also provides various analytic options based on the home position, which are temper detection, classified object detection, unusual activity detection, appearance search, facial recognition, no face mask detection, and occupancy counting. Also, this is maybe 5 days old that we announced the finally a release of corner camera, which has a very wide angle, so that dead angles are not an option for it. It comes with a vandal resistant and IK10 plus rated stainless steel housing, which can take up hits up to 50 joules. And it comes in 2 variants. One is with white steel and one is with stainless steel. In the stainless steel option, we have also the NEMA 4X certification, which makes the camera corrosion resistant. Also, a new release is that we have integrated to our camera an invisible IR LED light, which makes the camera, even at night, more or less invisible. It is very easy to clean and repair the camera by, how would I say, it's modular. So we have only to unscrew the screws at the front to change the entire camera if needed, or to change the front plate if it is somehow damaged. This year, we also announced the release of our Avigilon cloud services, which can be integrated with our ACC servers. And with this option, we are able to receive system health alerts to maximize uptime and downtime of our sites. It is meant for users who have a large number of sites, so they can take care of them by logging into one cloud platform and having access and visibility to all of the servers connected to it. Also, it comes with a web-browsed web client. So From the cloud platform, we are able to see even cameras and recordings on them. So the main features that provide the Avigilon Cloud is system health monitoring, maintenance services, cloud-based SDK to centralize third-party ACC integration, to simplify management of large number of sites. And also we are planning to announce very shortly a remote upgrade of sites, and also taking care for example, for system integrators, for their customers, so they can have a look at all sites, if all hard drives are healthy, how is the system performing. If some alarms occurred, they can proactively call the end user and tell him about the problems seen on their systems. So, powered by AI, everything that we heard from Peter with the ACC software, with the NVRs, and from my side, the cameras and the cloud services are all based to provide the end user or the customer the maximum benefit of artificial intelligence, which we can classify by, first of all, from cameras or third-party cameras if we use our new release of AI NVR, the classified object detection, the appearance search functionality, face recognition, no face mask detection, and occupancy counting. The dependencies would be, we must have a camera that can firstly classify objects to provide more services, which in the second tier would be appearance search and occupancy counting. And after appearance search, because the algorithm of appearance search now with the high resolution is also based by doing the face recognition internally and getting much better results and making the system more precise, and the face mask detection, of course. So as Peter mentioned, we provide all these with our NVRs and cameras. The newest generation of video analytics can now classify up to 50 objects simultaneously. It gives a great performance in low light. Also the sub-classification of vehicles by cars, trucks, buses, motorcycles, and bicycles is possible. Our patented appearance search technology, which gives us two possibilities in a recorded video. If we see a suspected vehicle or person, we can search in time for that person in the future or in the past, or by physical description, typing into the system. We saw a person that has a blue jacket, brown hair, the gender is male, and let the system search for him, her, or and vehicle. Also, we have unusual motion, which is based on position of the detected object, the speed and location, and also unusual activity detection, which we will hopefully very soon in the future give access to aggression behavior, or for slip and fall detection. If somebody slips and falls, so the system will be able to notify the user of any unusual activity detection. We also plan to introduce gun detection. And that will, every camera that currently has the ability of unusual motion and activity detection will get these features once we release them. Also our patented LPR, which now also uses convolutional neural networks for recognition, which can more or less worldwide read every license plate. In the EMEA region, more or less every single license plate can be read at this point. If not, we have a developer team which will be more than happy to integrate also the missing plates.
Saša, sorry for interrupting you, but we have like 5 minutes till the end of your presentation.
Okay.
I would just briefly join in as well. Since this is the last lecture, I think that we can pass the time slot.
Okay, maybe I have
Okay, that's great. I just needed Amar's confirmation. Okay.
Okay, thanks. So also this year we released our facial recognition, which is now used also by the appearance search, by, I would say, by every AI-based video analytic function we have and where it can be used to better detect and find people. What we have to mention this year is that we responded really fast, giving almost all options free of charge, is the COVID-19 response technology, which includes social distancing. So our H5A and H4A cameras can now measure the distance and tell us where are the hotspots where the social distancing is not, where are the hotspots where people are within 1.5 meters passing by each other. Also, we introduced the face mask detection. We also introduced the detected elevated skin temperature, which is an addition to our thermal cameras. Portfolio, the occupancy counting, which now measures how many people we can tell the system, okay, this part of some space can have maximum of 30 people, and no matter how many entries or exits we have, if we set up the system good, the system will count for us how many people are currently in the building and tell us when the limit is reached and pop up a window that nobody can go into the place because it has reached its limit. Also within this are the body-worn cameras, which we talked about. So the main point I would like to say about this COVID-19 response is that it comes with no additional cost. All we have to do is, for some of these technologies, we need to have an NVR with an integrated module, a graphic card, which is used on the NVR side or the appliance side for doing video analytics. We should have a camera that is analytic capable, and also for some of these features, connection to the cloud, because currently, as I can say, for the occupancy counting, we are not able to do it on the server or the client side. It is done on the cloud. only. So we have a dashboard on our cloud, which do all the countings, the reportings, and everything else for it. Okay, we are at the end. So the social distancing, I didn't mention. So our cameras are now able to very precise measure the distance between detected classified objects.
Просто GPS RPG, kao ideš po svijetu I krljaš se.
Okay.
Can you mute, please, the mic?
Face mask detection.
I'm sorry.
Also mentioned, and here are, depending on the technology we want to use, what are the requirements by our system. And I repeat, it comes without any additional cost to the end user or the partner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Saša. Thank you, Peter, for this insightful presentation on your side with a bunch of details regarding the whole procedure and processes that you have in place behind your products. For now, I will just pinpoint 3 questions for you if you have time. I believe that in 5 minutes we can be done and well answered regarding these. The first one says, how does face recognition function when someone wears a mask? What is being scanned?
Yes, so Saša, if you don't mind, I take that first. I mean, you can add anything you want anytime. Personally, I've conducted a test in terms of this, and we still received recognition. We still received events when somebody was wearing a mask from those individuals whose profile was in the face recognition group, but obviously the accuracy could go down. But in terms of recognition, we analyze the full face, every feature the face has, from its top to bottom, if you like, okay, from the top of the head to the chin. If it's covered partially by the mask, we can still match faces with the database, but as I said, the accuracy could be obviously lower, or the false positives, let's say, could be higher.
Actually happen to some degree. Understood.
Yes.
The second question reads, what industry would benefit the most from IE NVR product?
Yes. If you ask me, I would say it's not really dependent, or not really depends on the industry. It really depends on the actual situation of the customer, of the site, of the facility, what is being equipped with CCTV cameras, no matter what brand. So the idea of the AI NVR is that somebody who is increasing in camera numbers and in resolutions, and did not deploy any analytics, okay, did not deploy any artificial intelligence, or there is no way to add artificial intelligence to their system, the AI NVR can be a solution to solve that problem. To install that AI NVR and add video analytics, object classification, and all those features what Saša mentioned, such as classified object detection, appearance search, face detection, and no face mask detection, and so on. So to add these functions to that system. Okay. This AI NVR will play an essential role. It's a fantastic combination between recorders and let's say analytics boxes, if you like.
All clear. The third question is actually a look for advice on your side from some of our visitors. It says, what camera video surveillance system would you recommend for a medium-sized company which has approximately 200 meters in diameter in total, combining headquarters with parking lots together? So what do you recommend out of your product line?
Okay, Peter, if you don't mind, I would answer this because it's related to the camera portfolio. First of all, if the security of the company property is the main feature, we should have a fence around it. I would suggest doing it with simple, if it is 200 meters in diameter, then we can do with 4 thermal cameras surrounding the object, for which we will use for detection purposes, and putting, depending on the situation of the object, putting maybe 2 PTZ cameras for video verification. When we have an intruder detected by the thermal camera, the PTZ camera will automatically go to this spot, to that zone where it was detected, and show us a visual video verification of the detected object. For the parking lots, if it is a huger parking space, maybe with 1, instead of using 10 cameras, with 1 pro camera, we can cover huge spots, huge spaces within only 1 camera, which reduces the installation cost, the maintenance cost, by having only 1 camera, 1 cable. And also the camera will provide to us video analytic features. So
it all depends on the budget from the company, what they want.
Like this.
Yeah. Actually, Saša's response, we can conclude this session. I would like to direct all visitors to your virtual booth because you are a diamond sponsor of this event. So they can not only connect with you via B2B meetings, but as well use the button, connect with exhibitor, send their business card details to you so you can review it afterwards, after the event, and schedule some other Skype, Zoom, or whatever you prefer, and meet with them to answer the questions, provide helpful insights regarding the product line, and provide some advices. If you don't have anything else to add, I would like to introduce you to the final greeting on your side to all the visitors. Please.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for providing us the opportunity to hold such a side event. I would thank all the audience and my colleague Peter.
Peter.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for your attention. It was
Thank
our
you,
pleasure.
gentlemen. All the best.
All the
Please
best.
stay in touch.
Bye.